The commander of the Egyptian Armed Forces, General Abdul Fattah al-Sisi, has warned that his troops will not stand by silently in the face of continued violence in the country. Clashes between Muslim Brotherhood supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi and security forces this past week have left hundreds dead. Egypt's interim prime minister has suggested legally dissolving the Muslim Brotherhood, which was banned in 1954, but made a recent return when it registered as an NGO. Meanwhile, EU leaders José Manuel Barroso and Herman Van Rompuy have warned the Egyptian government that Brussels would re-examine its relations with Cairo if the violence is not brought to an end. Some 17,000 Syrian refugees have crossed into Iraqi Kurdistan over the past 4 days. The mass exodus is one of the largest since Syria descended into conflict 2 years ago. To date, 2 million people have fled the country. More than 17,000 people have been evacuated from Russia's Far East after some of the worst flooding the area has seen. The floods, spurred on by heavy rains, have affected 121 towns and villages. Russian authorities have set up 166 temporary shelters and provided drinking water, food, and medical supplies. Meanwhile, more than 40 people have died in flooding in northeast China. Spanish fishermen today sailed to disputed waters off the coast of Gibraltar in protest against a concrete reef erected by the British territory's government, which has said that it has no plans to make any concessions.
All we have done and will continue to do is to actively manage the marine environment around British Gibraltar, in British Gibraltar territorial waters. If we were to concede any of that, then as Spain knows, and this is what she's pushing for, she would start to be involved in that management of the marine environment, something which is, of course, intolerable to every Gibraltarian.
Tensions have been high between Madrid and London in recent weeks over the disputed territory. Farmers' protests in Croatia have entered their 11th day as disgruntled farmers are seeking a higher purchasing price for wheat and the payment of subsidies they say are owed to them. Farmers' representatives today agreed to continue their protests, but to not move them to Zagreb after some 30 tractors leaving Vukovar for the capital were quickly stopped by police. Farmers did say that they would present Prime Minister Zoran Milanovic with their demands in writing by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They also said that President Ivo Josipovic has agreed to meet with them next week. In the arts, the Dubrovnik Summer Games continue this evening with a screening of the British film An Ideal Husband, based on the Oscar Wilde play, at the Slavica Open Air Cinema at 9 tonight. Slovenian violinist Lana Trtovšek will be performing works by Brahms and Debussy, among others, at the Rector's Palace Atrium at 9:30. While Dostoevsky's Brothers Karamazov will be staged at the Marin Držić Theater at 9:30 as well. In sports, the Croatian men's basketball team plays Latvia in Dubrovnik at 8 p.m. tonight in a warm-up match for the upcoming European Championships in Slovenia. In tennis, American John Isner beat Juan Martín del Potro 6-7, 7-6, 6-3 to advance to the finals of the ATP tournament underway in Cincinnati, Ohio, where he will face Spaniard Rafael Nadal, who ousted Czech Tomáš Berdych 7-5, 7-6. In the women's semifinals, American Serena Williams beat Li Na of China 7-5, 7-5, while Belarusian Victoria Azarenka disposed of Serb Jelena Jankovic 4-6, 6-2, 6-3. Predominantly sunny tomorrow, with cloud cover moving in from the west by nightfall. Winds will be mild inland with a moderate west-southwesterly on the coast. Morning lows of 13 to 18 degrees Celsius in the interior, 19 to 24 on the Adriatic, will give way to the day's highs of 30 to 35 degrees.